Most people think of sharks as surface predators, circling near beaches, hunting in shallow water. But some of these animals dive into depths that would crush a military submarine. Here are 8 sharks that go deeper than any submarine ever built. The tiger shark is one of the most feared predators in the ocean, responsible for more recorded attacks on humans than almost any other species. Most people encounter them near coastlines and shallow reefs, which is exactly where they do most of their hunting. But tiger sharks are not restricted to shallow water. These animals regularly dive to depths of 350 meters, well below the point where sunlight disappears and water pressure begins to climb dramatically. Researchers tracking tiger sharks with satellite tags discovered that these dives happen most frequently at night, when the sharks follow prey downward into deeper, darker water before returning to the surface. What makes this remarkable is that the tiger shark's body is not specialized for deep water the way other species are. It is essentially a versatile all-terrain predator that moves freely between the surface and the deep, giving it access to prey that more specialized hunters cannot reach. The Scalloped Hammerhead is famous for forming large schools near seamounts during the day, sometimes numbering in the hundreds. What most people do not know is what happens after dark. At night, these sharks leave the school entirely and dive alone, dropping to depths of over 1,000 meters in search of prey. Research published in the Journal of Experimental Biology revealed something nobody expected. Hammerheads hold their breath during these dives. They close their gill slits to prevent cold, deep water from flowing over their gills, which would rapidly cool their blood and slow their muscles. This essentially means a hammerhead is holding its breath at over 3,000 feet below the surface, then ascending back to warmer water before its body temperature drops too far. The descent happens fast, sometimes at angles of 80 degrees or steeper. Scientists believe the sharks are hunting squid and deep water fish that migrate upward at night, making this a precision hunting strategy that took millions of years to develop. The great white shark is the most recognized predator on Earth, and most of what the public knows about it comes from shallow water encounters near seal colonies and coastal beaches. But satellite tag data has completely changed the scientific understanding of how this animal actually uses the ocean. Great whites regularly dive to depths of over 1,200 meters, nearly 4,000 feet, during long ocean migrations between feeding areas. Researchers tracking individual sharks across the Pacific found that these deep dives appear to follow a specific pattern, with the sharks descending slowly and then rising back to the surface, a behavior scientists call yo-yo diving. One leading theory is that the great white is using the temperature gradient between deep cold water and warm surface water to navigate, essentially using the ocean's thermal layers as a compass during migrations of thousands of miles. The same animal that attacks seals near the surface is also silently moving through complete darkness more than a kilometer below. The Shortfin Mako is the fastest shark in the ocean, capable of reaching speeds of over 70 kilometers per hour at the surface. Its speed comes from a highly streamlined body, a warm-blooded circulatory system that keeps its muscles operating at peak performance, and a crescent-shaped tail that generates enormous thrust. All of those adaptations for speed also happen to make the Mako exceptionally capable at depth. These sharks have been recorded diving to over 1,500 meters, nearly a mile below the surface, where water pressure is roughly 150 times greater than at the surface. Researchers believe Mako sharks use deep dives to chase fast-moving prey like swordfish and tuna, which themselves dive deep to regulate body temperature and hunt. The Mako essentially outswims its prey in all directions, horizontally at the surface and vertically into the deep, making it one of the most complete open-ocean hunters alive. The Bluntnose Sixgill Shark is one of the most primitive sharks alive today. While most modern sharks have 5 gill slits, the Sixgill has 6, a feature that connects it directly to shark lineages that existed before the dinosaurs. During the day, Sixgill sharks spend almost all of their time at depths of over 1,000 meters, in complete darkness and near freezing water, where they are rarely seen by humans. At night, they rise toward the surface to feed. Scientists using deep-sea submersibles have filmed Sixgill sharks at depths approaching 1,800 meters, moving slowly through the water column with an almost effortless calm that is unusual for a predator of its size. These animals can reach over 5 meters in length. The sixgill is a living example of an evolutionary design that has remained almost unchanged for hundreds of millions of years, because at those depths and in those conditions, there has simply been no reason to change. The Pacific sleeper shark is a close relative of the Greenland shark, and like its Arctic cousin, it is built for survival in extreme cold and extreme depth. These sharks have been confirmed at depths of over 2,000 meters, more than 6,000 feet below the surface, in waters that are permanently dark, near freezing, and under crushing pressure. The sleeper shark moves slowly, conserving energy in an environment where food is scarce and unpredictable. Rather than actively chasing prey like a mako or a great white, the Pacific sleeper is primarily a scavenger and an ambush predator, feeding on whatever sinks to depth or whatever it can approach without being detected. Researchers have found the remains of marine mammals, seabirds, and even other sharks inside Pacific sleeper stomachs, evidence that despite its slow pace, it is capable of taking large prey when the opportunity arises. Almost everything known about this species comes from incidental captures and brief deep-sea submersible encounters, because it lives in one of the least explored regions of the ocean. The Greenland shark holds a record that has nothing to do with speed or aggression. It is the longest-living vertebrate ever documented on Earth. Using radiocarbon dating of proteins in the shark's eye lens, scientists estimated that some individuals may be over 400 years old, meaning a Greenland shark alive today could have been born before the Pilgrims reached America. These animals live at depths of up to 2,200 meters in the cold, dark waters of the Arctic and North Atlantic, moving so slowly that they are sometimes called the sleeper shark of the North. Their metabolic rate is among the lowest ever recorded for any vertebrate, which is directly connected to both their extraordinary lifespan and their ability to survive in an environment where food can be scarce for extended periods. Researchers have found the remains of horses, polar bears, and entire moose inside Greenland shark stomachs, though scientists believe most of these were scavenged rather than hunted, given how slowly the shark moves. The whale shark is the largest fish on Earth, reaching lengths of over 12 meters and weighing as much as 20,000 kilograms. For decades, scientists classified it as a surface animal, a gentle filter feeder that cruises near the surface consuming plankton and fish eggs in warm tropical waters. That classification was completely overturned in 2025 when a juvenile male whale shark tagged off the east coast of Australia and tracked for months was recorded diving to 2,527 meters, nearly 1.5 miles below the surface. This shattered every previous depth record for the species and made the whale shark the deepest diving fish ever documented. Scientists are still working to understand why the animal made the dive, with current theories suggesting the shark may have been following a concentrated food source, regulating its body temperature, or navigating using deep ocean currents. What is clear is that the largest fish in the ocean is capable of descending to a depth where most submarines would be destroyed by pressure, and doing so silently without any equipment on a single dive. 8 sharks, 8 completely different body types, hunting strategies, and evolutionary histories, all sharing the same ability to descend into depths that human technology can barely reach. If you want to see which of these sharks has actually gone after submarines, that video is right here.